Who would have thought that a motorcycle from China could dare to challenge the dominance of the Japanese giants who have ruled the sport bike world for decades? Introducing the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters, a machine that's now stirring conversations across the global motorcycle community. Many claim that this bike's performance and technology could actually rival the likes of Yamaha MT-07, Kawasaki Z650, or even the Honda CB650R. But is it really true? Or is this just another case of hype surrounding a new Chinese contender? Today, we're diving deep from its design, engine, and performance to what it feels like to ride this ambitious challenger on the open road. Not long ago, when people heard the phrase Chinese motorcycle, they instantly imagined cheap materials, copied designs, and engines that could barely hold up over time. But times have changed drastically. CFMoto is no longer a small-scale producer of budget machines. Founded in 1989, the company first focused on engines and ATVs, but everything changed when they formed a strategic partnership with KTM Austria. That collaboration gave CFMoto access to advanced European technology, from fuel injection systems to chassis design. The result? A rapid transformation that led to bikes like the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters, a middleweight sport bike ready to take the fight straight to Japan's doorstep. At first glance, the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters looks stunning. The design screams aggression and precision, with a futuristic and muscular body inspired by European street fighters. The full LED headlights are sharp and intense. The sculpted fuel tank gives off a sense of power, and the exposed tubular frame highlights both strength and sophistication. Even the smallest details, from the texture of the seat to the paint finish, feel premium. The panels fit tightly, the welds are clean, and the overall build quality reflects a new level of craftsmanship that most people never expected from a Chinese brand. But beauty isn't everything. What really matters is the heart that beats inside. The CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters packs a liquid-cooled, inline 3-cylinder DOHC engine that produces around 100 horsepower and 68 Newton-meters of torque. If that sounds familiar, it's because it shares the spirit of the legendary Triumph Street 650, a machine celebrated for its perfect balance between power and agility. The triple-cylinder configuration gives it a unique character, smooth and calm at low RPMs, yet explosive and raw once you hit the higher range. The moment you twist the throttle, you can feel that distinctive, raspy growl that sends chills down your spine. It's not just noise, it's personality on the road. This bike feels remarkably balanced. Weighing around 180 kilograms, it's light enough to feel nimble, yet stable enough for high-speed riding. The handling feels sharp but forgiving, ideal for both spirited street rides and weekend track sessions. Thanks to its upside-down front forks and a rear monoshock, the suspension setup delivers impressive feedback and control through corners. Braking performance is equally solid, with dual front discs, radial-mounted calipers, and Bosch dual-channel ABS, ensuring consistent stopping power in all conditions. Acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour clocks in at roughly 3.5 seconds, and it can reach top speeds beyond 220 km/h. And then there are the features, because CFMoto isn't just trying to keep up, it's trying to lead. The bike comes equipped with a full-color TFT display, Bluetooth connectivity, ride-by-wire throttle, quick shifter, up and down, and several riding modes including sport, street, and rain. Add in assist and slipper clutch, traction control, and even a refined ECU mapping system, and you're looking at a motorcycle that's as technologically advanced as many Japanese or European mid-range sport bikes, but at a much lower price point. And that's where things get interesting, the price. In several Asian markets, the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters is expected to cost up to 50 to 70 million rupiah less than its Japanese counterparts. For riders who crave power and performance but don't want to spend a fortune, that's a huge deal. The value for money here is almost unbeatable. Of course, skeptics still question its long-term reliability and resale value, but CFMoto's growing global presence, backed by its joint venture with KTM, gives riders good reason to believe in the brand's durability and after-sales support. Few people realize that CFMoto and KTM share more than just ideas. They share production lines, quality standards, and even engineering teams. In fact, several KTM models sold in Asia are now built directly in CFMoto state-of-the-art facilities. That means this bike doesn't just have Chinese DNA, it has European precision running through its veins. It's the kind of collaboration that could redefine what we think of when we hear the phrase "made in China." Since its global debut, the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters has drawn praise from motorcycle journalists worldwide. Reviewers have called it the most serious Chinese sport bike ever made. Many have highlighted its solid build quality, refined engine, and surprisingly engaging ride feel. Sure, there are small imperfections, like a slightly abrupt throttle at low speeds or minor vibrations at high RPMs, but these are small trade-offs for what the bike offers overall. Compared to where Chinese motorcycles were even a decade ago, this is a massive leap forward. So, can a Chinese 675 cubic centimeters bike really challenge Japan? The answer is yes, and maybe even more than that. The CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters isn't just about competing on specs or pricing. It's about changing perceptions. It's about showing the world that a Chinese manufacturer can create something beautiful, powerful, and reliable, something worthy of respect. For decades, Japan has set the gold standard for sport bikes. But now, a new contender has stepped into the ring. And this contender isn't here to imitate, it's here to innovate. Now let's go deeper, because this story isn't just about one bike. It's about a shift in the global motorcycle landscape. For years, the motorcycle world has been defined by a few familiar names: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Ducati, BMW. These companies built reputations that seemed untouchable. But behind the scenes, China was evolving. Their factories were growing more advanced, their engineers better trained, and their ambitions bigger. At first, the world laughed at Chinese bikes, calling them cheap copies or disposable machines. But step by step, brands like CFMoto, Benelli, Lanson, and QJ Motor started proving otherwise. They invested heavily in R&D, hired international designers, and collaborated with top-tier European engineers. The CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters represents the culmination of that transformation. It's the point where made in China no longer means low quality. It means smart engineering with global vision. And as more riders experience it, opinions are shifting fast. Imagine being able to buy a bike with the looks of a Ducati, the heart of a Triumph, and the price tag of a budget commuter. That's what CFMoto is offering, and it's turning heads everywhere. But what makes the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters even more interesting is its emotional impact on riders. Once you swing a leg over it and start the engine, you can feel how far this company has come. The vibrations through the handlebars are minimal. The throttle response feels sharp yet manageable. And the gear changes are smooth thanks to its quick shifter. The sound from its triple-cylinder engine is intoxicating. Not too loud, but full of character. On winding mountain roads, the chassis feels alive, eager to lean into corners and power out with confidence. It's not just a machine, it's an experience. Riders who have tested it often say the same thing: it doesn't feel like a Chinese bike. And that's the point. CFMoto doesn't want to be seen as a Chinese alternative. It wants to be seen as a world-class manufacturer. When you ride this bike, you realize it's not trying to copy anyone. It's carving its own identity, with its own sound, design language, and riding dynamics. Let's talk about ownership, because that's often where skepticism comes in. Many wonder, will it last? What about spare parts? Service quality? Those are valid concerns. But as CFMoto expands its global dealership network, these issues are being addressed rapidly. With KTM's influence, the supply chain and service infrastructure are improving each year. In some markets, CFMoto already offers warranties and customer support that rival Japanese brands. If they continue down this path, reliability won't be a weakness, it will become a strength. Looking beyond the specs, this bike represents something bigger: the rise of a new generation of motorcyclists who care less about brand heritage and more about what a bike actually delivers. Younger riders today value innovation, technology, and design over old reputations. They're willing to give new brands a chance, as long as those brands can deliver excitement and quality. And that's exactly what CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters does. In a sense, this motorcycle is a statement, a loud one. It says, we're no longer followers, we're creators. It's proof that competition is good for everyone. When a new player like CFMoto steps up with something this impressive, it pushes the Japanese and European giants to innovate even more. The result? Better motorcycles for all of us. Of course, there will always be purists who say that a Chinese bike will never match the soul of a Japanese machine. And maybe, for some, that's true. But here's the thing, the soul of a motorcycle doesn't come from the flag on its tank. It comes from the experience it gives the rider. And when you ride the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters, you feel excitement, confidence, and joy. Isn't that what riding is all about? If this is the beginning of China's sport bike revolution, then the future looks incredibly exciting. The CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters might not just be a rival. It might be the spark that ignites a new era of global motorcycle innovation. A time when riders no longer ask where a bike was made, but how it makes them feel. So, can this Chinese 675 cubic centimeters truly stand toe-to-toe with Japan's best? Absolutely. Maybe it won't replace them, not yet, but it's earned the right to ride beside them. This isn't a copy. It's a competitor. It's bold, it's ambitious, and it's undeniably impressive. The world is watching, and one thing's for sure. The roar of the CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters isn't just echoing across roads. It's echoing across history. Because this bike doesn't just challenge Japan. It challenges everything we thought we knew about motorcycles. CFMoto 675 cubic centimeters. Built in China, inspired by the world, and ready to conquer the road.